Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're at. It's lunchtime here for me at about 12:30, but usually about 11:30 Central Time, so it's still probably morning for some people, or depending on if you're further out on the West Coast. My name's Jay Morrison. I'm the Vice President of Equipment Sales and the Eastern Region Sales Manager for Carpenter Brothers, which is a foundry and metal casting industrial supply company and representation company for equipment and uh, anything and everything that's needed for the foundry and metal casting industry. I am a 2001 graduate of Western Michigan University and a FEF, Foundry Education Foundation graduate. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my journey into my current role into sales. Um, I have a different background. A lot of times when you talk to people that end up in the metal casting industry, it sounds like they almost end up there kind of as a mistake, or they kind of happened into the industry, if you will. I ended up with the industry a little bit because it's a bit of a family heritage. I'm a third generation metal caster, and so it's a foundry industry for me. My father and both my grandfather worked in the industry, both within production, but then also ended up in sales. So I've kind of had to follow a little bit of the lineage of how they got into it. I got interested in the metal casting industry when I was sometime around the sixth or seventh grade, actually going around with my father and making some sales calls. And I think I was at an age where I wasn't able to be left behind. So at home, because I might cause a little bit too much trouble. So I was with my father, and he was making some sales calls. And I remember that we pulled up to a foundry, and they were pouring iron, and I was able to see it through the wall, and it was pretty interesting to me because it was basically they were pouring some molten iron into what I thought at the time was dirt. So it kind of intrigued me. And from that point on, it piqued my interest. And I know that the rest of that day, I spent most of the day kind of peppering my father about questions about the industry, how things went on, what was part of it, and it just piqued my interest because it seemed pretty cool, and there was a little bit of danger and excitement to it that got me excited about it as well. So in order to get into the metal casting industry, I looked at different areas. I knew I wanted to go to college. One of the areas that I kind of thought was a good area and wanted to get into was more on the engineering ends of things. So I looked at several different schools. I knew that I wanted to do metal casting, and I wanted to go to a school that had a metal casting program. And most of the schools that I looked at, I did that. I was fortunate enough to make a visit my senior year of high school at Western Michigan University, and Dr. Sam Ratton, who is still there. And we happened to show up on a day where he was actually having a lab and a class. And with that class, what really piqued my interest was I was there when they got an opportunity to pour some metal. And students were making their own molds. They were making and pouring their own molds and making their whole castings all the way through. So it was really a thrill for me, and getting an opportunity to go see that. So going through Western Michigan, they also have at that time was more of a non-traditional. When I say non-traditional, 20 some odd years ago, 25 years ago, a lot of the foundry stuff was more on the just basically metallurgical ends of things or material science. With Dr. Sam and Western Michigan University, their program was more on manufacturing, so kind of a broad base of everything. So through my education at Western Michigan University, I got an engineering degree in manufacturing engineering with a cast metals option, which is kind of a minor. From there, I was able to get some co-ops and internships where I worked at AC Foundry in Battle Creek, and then also at GM Defiance in Defiance, Ohio. Was able to learn a lot. I was thankful for my co-ops and internships, which were highly beneficial from and it was kind of pushed along from both Western and then also the FEF. So I was grateful for that. Got a lot of good experience. Once I graduated, I went off to Waukesha Foundry. I spent about a year there, which is over in Waukesha, Wisconsin. They're a steel foundry, but they kind of pour a little bit of anything and everything. Um, and I worked as a process quality engineer. It gave me a good opportunity to work with people on the floor, uh, customers, suppliers, you name it. So I had this good broad background and for about a year, year and a half, and just really got into everything. So it was kind of a great aspect of mold, melt, fill, you name it, everything. So it gave me this really great broad background. So after Wisconsin, working at Waukesha Foundry, I made my way to Metal Technologies in Ravenna, Michigan, and I started off there as a tooling engineer. They called it a process engineer, and I got a good background in doing tooling. That was kind of my first experience with that, but also got a good opportunity to get involved with other areas of the foundry. But the tooling area was a good one for me to get started with. From the tooling ends of things, I basically I got involved with Six Sigma Black Belt. That was an area where I had learned that there are stakeholders and basically that we have customers. And that's kind of one of the things from a sales perspective that you always have. Obviously, when I'm in sales, I'm dealing with customers and trying to work with them and making sure their needs are met from a technical standpoint, getting material, whatever it might be. But that was where I kind of learned that even when you're an engineer, you always have customers. So whether it's production or if it's your boss or whoever it might be, it was an area that kind of opened my eyes. And I think I learned that very well from the people at Metal Technologies, that we all have customers no matter what it is and no matter what your role is, because we have to service somebody else. And that's kind of part of always being sales. So at the end of it, you get a good opportunity to see where you're at in as far as helping people. So that's always a part of sales, whether it's you're an engineer or if you're actually selling a product or an item or something along those lines. I also was able to be a maintenance manager at Metal Technologies, so that gave me a good opportunity to learn something that was totally new to me and outside of the realm of my comfort level. When I did that, I got to basically manage people and across multiple shifts. So I learned even more about essentially kind of getting into sales through maintenance and managing people. So it was a good opportunity. I ended up at Carpenter Brothers just because I wanted to try something new, different opportunity. Carpenter Brothers is a 100-year-old family-run company, and one of the things that drew me to them is their diverse portfolio of products, and then opportunities to get into different foundries. I've always been a little bit of a metal casting nerd. I love different foundries, different processes, anything really industrial. And that was something that gave me an opportunity, and I really viewed it as a good opportunity and as a challenge to see more foundries, to challenge myself, get myself outside of a little bit of a comfort zone, and not only that, but help. So I'm in sales now, but without all of the technical things that I've done in my previous positions, and also learning from FEF and getting that engineering, I don't think I'd be able to help my customers as well. And at the end of the day, that's really where I'm at, and I really want to help my customers. And that's the way I view it. Is I hope I'm essentially an extension of them, and I can help them solve their problems. So I'm not just your typical salesperson, and not having anything that I know that I'm talking about. I've actually either used the products or can get answers or help them use them in the best manner in any way, shape, or form. So that gives you a little bit of a background on my journey to sales. I'm very, very thankful for the Foundry Education Foundation and everything that they do. I'm a current board member, so I'm able to give back. But my journey in staying into the metal casting world and then getting into sales was mainly because of the Foundry Education Foundation. I appreciate you taking time and listening to a little bit of my story. Hopefully this is something that you found interesting. If you would like to get in touch with me, feel free. You can look me up. And I'd love to have more of a conversation and help you out, whether it's Foundry, Metalcasting, sales, or whatever it might be. Have a great Friday and have a great weekend. Thank you.